Hey everyone, Fellow here. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 new March mechanic features currently being tested in Rise to War. After playing PBE2 for 2 days, I found 10 features or points that are new that I want to share with you. If you stay to the end, I'll also show you 3 bugs that we found so far. Maybe they've been fixed by the time you guys see this video. And also one suggestion that I would like to make the March experience that much better. So let's get to it. Feature number 1, no more connecting tiles. You can now move freely to any tile that you want without needing a connecting tile like we did in 1.0. There are limitations though. You cannot cross a river or a pass until you have taken both sides. Feature number 2, more realistic march routes. Commanders will now have to move in a more realistic way on the map, pathing around mountains, using crossings to cross the waters, etc. Feature number 3, land and air units move differently. Land units. Now you can move outside of your fort range. Remember how you used to need a fort to take your armies from here to there? You'll no longer need that. You can move anywhere in the map. But can you? They also have some restrictions. Like I said previously, they need to take crossing or passes before they're able to advance. Air units have a very specific and unique ability. They bypass any blocking structure. Land units, they need to take crossings and passes before they can pass. Flying units, they can overpass them without you taking them first. That allows you to move in different places that you might not be able to yet with your land units. But they do have some restrictions. They can only move within your forts, fortresses, settlements, movement range. They cannot fly over enemy flying units, but they can move into enemy lands. We found that there is a very unique way that Mumu kills will move on the map. They also have a unique benefit. They can be used to guard the larger area. If you don't know what that means, don't worry, I'll explain it just a little bit further. So just hold on, because you know what I mean. They also have some restrictions in terms of movement. Because they use 2x2 tiles to land, they can only move through areas that have a space to pass through them of 2x2 tiles. So those very narrow passes, sometimes in the mountains or the swamps, that only has a 1x1 tile to get through, Mumu will avoid those. They will find the fastest route to wherever you're trying to reach that has in the entire route a 2x2 tile. With some of the new features that we're going to talk about here in just a second, you will see that you can do different things. It's important that they have a 2x2 tile throughout their entire march. So a question that I had when I learned about the Mumu movement was, can my Mumu land on half my own tiles, half my fellowship's tiles? Because 2x2, it means it's four tiles that you have to sit on. Depending where you are, you might not have that many free tiles to move. So with that question in mind, I reached out to Siraxta. I hope you're saying your name right, my friend. Shout out to Siraxta for helping me understand the Mumu movement. And as you can see on the screen, you can use your own tiles, green tiles, or blue tiles. So the 4x4 can be comprised of, for example, 2 green tiles and 2 blue tiles, and your Mumu will still land. You don't have to own all 4 tiles in order for the Mumu to go. Purple tiles, they will appear to your Mumu as red. You cannot, as we know, you cannot move on purple tiles. Purple tiles mean that it's your team, but it's not your own fellowship or warband. So you can move to any green and blue tiles or free tiles. You're gonna learn that in just a second, but you cannot move to any purple tiles. Well, what about red ones? Red ones you can, because as soon as your Mumu lands on them, they will be taking over those tiles. Just like the regular land units, Mumu, in order to get to the other side of the river, they will need to go through crossings. So you need to take those crossings before you can move your land units or your Mumu to the other side. Feature number 4, mixing land and air units. You might be tempted to try running Radagast with Eagles, Gandalf the Grey with Swanites, Galadriel with Bonites, and your Dane with Guardians, right? By the way, that's just an example. Don't quote me on that build. There is no problem mixing land and air units for fighting, but it does limit you if you want to use the flying unit's ability to overpass things in this scenario. Once you mix land and air units, you lose the free movement that the flying units have, and your entire army will behave as a land unit. Because you have land units and air units, they all will move as land units. So that means you need to take crossings, passes before you can move to another side. Feature number 5, stamina cost. Now, you might want to buckle up for this one. This one caught me by surprise. Not all units cost the same. Let's start with the land units. Within fort range, each movement costs 20 stamina. Outside of your fort, if you want to do a long march, for example, you can. Like I said earlier, you don't need forts anymore to move places. But outside of your fort, fortress, settlements, movement range, it will cost you 60 stamina. Air units, each move costs 20 stamina. But remember, they cannot move outside of your regular movement range. So if your eagles are in a fort or your fell beasts, it only costs 20 stamina to move, but they can only move within that range. Now, Mumu kill. Mumu kill. Within your fort range, within your base, any movement you make with the Mumu kill will cost you 60 stamina. 60 stamina. I don't know if you're gonna adjust that, but that's 60 stamina. Outside, if you want to take your Mumu kill to the other side of the map, outside of your fort range, 120 stamina. 120 stamina to move your Mumu kill outside of your movement. Now, moving from one fort to another fort that is considered within your movement range, it's gonna cost you 60 with a Mumu kill and 20 with the other units. Think twice before moving your Mumu kill. Feature number 6, you can now pause your march. What does that mean? Pause your march. By clicking the pause feature while your commander is marching, you will stop on the tile that your commander was over when you pressed it, but you do not capture it. You also can't return anymore or continue. Once you stop, you're there. You're just sitting on that tile, neither taking it nor fighting. You just stop there. You will now have to spend stamina again to continue moving to wherever you want to go. Now you might ask, why would you want to stop your march? I'll explain and clarify that in just a little bit. Feature number 7, move function has been changed. Remember how in 1.0, you could move, not march, right? If you wanted to move without taking a tile, you could move to a green or blue tile whenever you felt like. That means your own green, your own tiles. Blue means your fellowship, your warband. Now you can use the move function to move to an empty tile for the sake of it. You can now move to a non-occupied tile. You cannot move to purple tiles still. Purple tiles means your own team, but a different fellowship, a different warband. You can now move to a blue, to a green, or an unoccupied tile. Feature number 8, no more tile protection. And what that means, no more bouncing. And you might be thinking, are you serious? You're removing bouncing from the game? Once you understand a little bit more of how the new march mechanics work, you will see that it feels like the future that we're going for is less tile swapping, less tile wars, and more actual strategic movement and fighting. Feature number 9, you can now intercept marches. As you will see on the screen, opposing armies that cross each other's way will now trigger a fight. So let's say I'm sending my commander north and somebody's sending their commanders west and they cross paths, they will trigger a fight. Remember, in 1.0, if two armies passed over each other at the same time, but they were going to different places, nothing would happen. That's different in 2.0. Now, when armies cross each other, they will fight. There's more to this intercept strategy than just intercepting the marches. Remember how I said before you could pause your march? Let's say you see an enemy that's stopped right where your commander is going to pass by. Your commander is not going to stop there, but he's going to pass by a tile that has an opposing army on it. If your commander walks over that tile, it will trigger a fight. Now, the pause march button is very good because if you see that happen, you see that your commander is going to pass through that tile, you can hit pause and your commander will stop before passing over that tile, hence not triggering a fight. Remember how I also mentioned Mumu kill? They had a benefit of guarding 2x2 tiles, 4 tiles all at once. That means they occupy more space. If anybody passes over any of those 4 tiles as your Mumu kills there, it will trigger fight. Can you guys see how the battle and strategy mechanics are changing a little bit? Last but not least, feature number 10. Your marches will avoid enemy tiles. Let's say I want to get from north to south and there are a bunch of red tiles on the way. The computer will give you the fastest route that avoids red tiles. It's not something that you can choose. It will always avoid red tiles to make your way to wherever you want to go. So there you have it, guys. 10 features points that are currently being tested in PBE 2. I promised you guys 3 bugs that I found so far while testing this march mechanics in PBE. Bug number 1, marching to the forts take the same amount of time as long marching outside of it. As you can see in the example here, I'm sending 2 armies, one to go inside the fort, the other next to it, and you can see it takes basically the same time. I don't know why that is. Usually when we send an army to a fort, the marches are always faster. I don't know if this is something they have to fix, they forgot to, or if this is gonna be the new way. Bug number 2, or issue number 2, march time has been slower. I don't know if this is a strategy to slow down the game, but watching your armies move for 40 minutes to a nearby land is not fun. I know I promised 3 bugs, and this 3rd bug was actually fixed just a few hours ago. I'll let you know what it is so you know what it was, but it has been fixed. Long marches, they were taking way less time than the timer would show. I have a little video here I'm going to show you guys. As you can see, this march is going to take a lot more time, and I recorded the video, let it play to see how long it was actually going to take. And as you can see from this video, after 7 or 8 minutes, poof, he arrived out of nowhere. But luckily that was fixed. Kudos on the devs for work. And I also said that I would give one suggestion that I would love to see implemented in the game. As I clicked, I was sending my Ori somewhere yesterday just to test the marching mechanics. And you know how before it was a straight arrow to wherever I was going to go. Now it will find the fastest route, but that means it's not going to be a straight line anymore. It's going to be wiggly and left and right, up and down, but you can't see where the route is, and you don't have a full image. You can't zoom out enough and see where those lines are going. So one suggestion that I would love to see implemented in the game is to allow players to see a commander's marching route, both on the world map here, but also via the mini map on the top left corner. That way, whenever I click on a commander, I can see exactly the route that they're making, and I can decide where, if I want to stop anywhere. I don't have to keep watching where he's going. I can just see exactly where he's, and then make decisions as I go. What do you guys think of the new march mechanics? Which ones do you like? Which ones you don't like? Let me know in the comments. And that's gonna do it for this video. Please don't forget to send your 120 stamina Mumu kill to path all the way down to that like button, and to send your eagles or your fell beasts over that crossing to subscribe to the channel. Guys, I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to make videos for you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying it. See you in the next Rise to War video.